probably heard of Melanie Martinez and the allegations against her that happened in the past, but as it turns out, the rabbit hole is deeper than we thought, as new people are coming forward with similar allegations, as well as Timothy returning with new facts that reinforce the story, even changing the minds of people who doubted her back when the allegations first surfaced. Now, 7 years later, just in time before the statute of limitations runs out on her, the drama is resurfacing with some new information after she denied all allegations previously. Melanie's best friend Timothy at the time tweeted, quote, "What if I have my own story of abuse, but I'm scared to ruin the person's life and I still love them in an effed up way, and the public still loves them and most probably wouldn't believe me." Timothy posted the full story of what happened around a month later, detailing the incident, describing that she was R-worded by someone who we now know is Melanie Martinez, who has a lot of fans that became her friends, as well as making the situation difficult to speak out about. At that point, she still hadn't made clear who this post was about, until a while later when she posted this tweet, saying that the story was about Melanie, who would later respond simply saying, "She never said no." In Timothy's post, she describes the event of that night in December, when she was staying at Melanie's house while both of their boyfriends were out of town. Quote, "One night during a sleepover, she became increasingly interested in my sexual preferences. As someone who had previously been through SA, sex is hard for me to talk about. I had work very early in the morning. She began asking me while in bed if I would have sex with her. While being incredibly uncomfortable by this offer, I attempted to laugh it off. I had a boyfriend at this time, and she knew that. He doesn't have to know, it's not a big deal." It went on for hours, asking me why I didn't want to, that it would be fun. I repeatedly said no. I had work in the morning. I just wanted to sleep. I was exhausted. Timothy goes on in her post describing how the incident took place and what her reaction was at the time. Quote, "I said every form of no I could think of. As I lay praying to fall asleep, she began touching my arm. I allowed this to happen. Maybe she'd give up. This went on for maybe an hour. I got increasingly uncomfortable. I started giggling, saying that it tickled. I in no way wanted to make this a sexual situation. Can I just do this? Can I just touch your arm? Can I just touch your boobs?" She began bothering with me. All I wanted to do was go to sleep. She began talking about the appearance of my boobs and begged to just touch them. We didn't have to do anything else. I was so exhausted and confused and high and belittled, I just allowed it to happen. This led to her touching the rest of me. I never said yes. I said no repeatedly, but she used her power over me and broke me down. Just so there is no confusion, I was molested by my best friend. I lay still, in shock, completely not reciprocating. I hate speaking so bluntly on this because it makes me extremely uncomfortable, but she performed oral sex on me and then I was penetrated with a sex toy without being asked. That's what happened. In Melanie's response, she would later say, quote, "She never said no to what we chose to do together, and although we parted ways, I'm sending her love and light always." Fans took issue with the fact that Melanie basically confirmed what took place on that night, and it then became a question of whether there was consent or not. The hashtag Melanie Martinez's over party started spreading on Twitter after a tweet and quickly became trending. Also, a trend emerged in which fans of Melanie filmed themselves throwing away or destroying merchandise by Melanie, which in itself had garnered controversy in the past. Just prior to this incident, Melanie released a perfume with a hefty price tag despite criticism that the bottle it was made out of, which is always the most expensive part of a perfume by far, was made out of cheap plastic. People called the perfume a rip-off due to its $270 price tag, but to be fair, it allegedly smelled good and the money supposedly went directly to her. Unlike other avenues of revenue that are often taken by managers because of modern label contracts, it was a way for fans to financially support her, and the perfume smelled good, so it probably wasn't a rip-off in hindsight. Either way, people were unhappy after her response to Timothy's story, and were doubting her statement that Timothy never said no, since she very clearly stated in her story, quote, "The bottom line that I need to always remind myself is that I said no, for 2 nights straight. It doesn't matter that I didn't resist during the action. I had been broken down. She knew I didn't want to. I made that clear. I didn't scream at her. I didn't force her off me. 1, because I loved her. 2, because I just wanted it to all be over. We never talked about this night ever again." Melanie has and always had a very loyal fanbase since the day she stepped on stage on The Voice. The sentiment with her fans, however, started to shift, and this incident was probably just the tipping point for a lot of people after what happened previously. In a concert that she held, fans were charged the regular price for tickets as well as $400 if they want the VIP tickets with an in-person meet and greet. When they went to the concert, however, fans were let down when it turned out that she was never there in person and the whole meeting for $400 was just with a life-sized hologram of her. Because of her very loyal fanbase at the time, people were really looking into Timothy's claims and scrutinizing everything she said, which, rightly so, since these are very heavy allegations. At the time, Timothy went on an interview shortly after the tweets and did an interview with the Daily Mail in which she remembered a picture she took the day after the alleged SA and gave the date on that picture to the news outlet. After fans looked at the timeline, it didn't add up and her strongest fans called her a liar.
About the date?
Yeah, about the date.
Okay, so the only reason that I told Newsweek that it was on the 25th is because I remember posting that picture of me with the half black and half purple wig the day after. But it was 2 years ago, and I could very well be wrong. Maybe I posted it a couple days later, and I don't know, there's so many, possibilities, but, and also, Melanie didn't say that it never happened, so...
That's what I've been...
Now Timothy posted a TikTok addressing all the rumors from 7 years ago, clarifying that it was never proven that she lied, and doubled down on her initial allegations.
Speaking out against my abuser ruined my life, and I'd like to talk to you about it. You also may have heard that I admitted to lying or that it was proven that I lied. Neither are true. Speaking out against my abuser ruined my life. Here's how we got to that point. She used the sentence, "She never said no to what we chose to do together." While I did say no, in many different ways, this sentence was actually quite validating for me to hear. She clearly didn't understand how consent works, and she admitted that something took place between us. I wish it ended there. I made the mistake of doing an interview with Daily Mail. While being interviewed, they asked for more specific details, like when the incident took place. It'd been around 2 years prior, so I didn't remember the exact date. What I did remember was a picture I took the next day. I went back in my camera roll, found the picture, and told them the day of the incident was the day before.
Most of the comment section after this video actually supported Timothy, and it seems that the sentiment is shifted much more towards believing her than supporting Melanie just because people like her music, with comments like, "I believe you, I'm so sorry the Melanie fandom is so toxic." In the comments she is referring to the comments defending Melanie by clowning on everyone who supports Timothy, quote, "Y'all, which perfume should I put, Portals or the Crybaby? Wearing my Melanie shirt right now." Right now, more people are coming out with similar stories to Timothy's, which in the eyes of her supporters only helps to strengthen her case. Like Madeline tweeting, quote, "Also something similar happened with me and Mel. She begged me over and over again to sleep with her and I finally gave in. She wore me down. I said yes. But it was not the same with Timothy. I will support Timothy Heller till the end." FYI everyone, I think a lot of people misinterpreted this. It was manipulative of her, but what happened between her and I was consenting. I wanted to share this seeing how a lot of people are calling Timothy a liar. She's not. We were both great friends with Mel. Most of Melanie's posts are now filled with comments urging her to respond to the allegations, since the situation is gaining more traction every day.